think we're very privileged today to have different people sharing from different family businesses. With family businesses, there are two things that we can learn a lot from, whether we are in a family business ourselves or not. One of which is, how do you keep your brand fresh and relevant through the ages, still running the business. And the other perspective is relationship dynamics within family business as well. So first up, we have Morgan, Lincoln, and Ryan from Roger&Sons, and their family business is in carpentry and furniture making. So let's give a round of applause to welcome them up.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Morgan. This is my second brother, Lincoln, and this is my youngest brother, Ryan. Yes, thank you guys for taking time to come down today. Really appreciate it. So we're just going to do a short introduction about what we do in general, the kind of projects that we do. And then if you have any questions, maybe at the end when everyone's done. So Roger&Sons is a carpentry firm. We started this company has been started by my dad about 31 years ago, the year I was born. So my dad was diagnosed with cancer. So me and my brothers, we decided to take over the family business. And because my dad primarily was a manufacturer, so he did a lot, in the 90s and 2000s. When Singapore was growing and there was a lot of offices being built, my dad primarily worked with office furniture, and so he was just a manufacturer. So he worked a lot with dealers, people who sell his products, the thing that he makes. And because of that, when we took over, not many people know about my dad's company because it was called JR&P Industries at that point in time. So as the dealers started to retire, and then eventually my dad's business also became not so good. So when we took over, we really wanted to rebrand the company to just really show the kind of work that we can do. So that's why we renamed the company to Roger&Sons. So over the last 5 years, me and my brothers and the team that we have, we started learning and exploring carpentry in general. We decided to just focus purely on carpentry. We decided to just do really bespoke carpentry. I think a main reason because of that is because we couldn't compete against the big boys like IKEA or like people just buying stuff on Taobao. We really just couldn't compete. But what we have is a bunch of guys who are really dedicated to what they do, just really good craftsmen, and that's what we wanted to focus on. So for us, we are just, we really like to call ourselves ethical makers and mavericks. We really like to work with, we really like to try to be sustainable in the things we do. We make small stuff, we make big stuff like furniture, tables, chairs and stuff. We also make small stuff like coasters for our clients, whatever it is related to wood or other materials like acrylic or glass or mirrors and stuff like that. We also work as well. What we try to do, just something interesting, is that we've been trying to work with a beekeeper based in Yishun. So because what he does, he goes to like places that has lots of bees, right? So he picks them up and so what he does, he harvests these bees into like honey and stuff. So we were trying to work with him to take beeswax from him so that we can use the beeswax to make our own finishes for our wood. So these are things that we've been trying to do to try to be a little bit more sustainable in the things that we do. Yes. So now my brothers, so this is my dad. Looks a lot like my two brothers, doesn't look like me. I was just telling her I was picked from the dustbin. Yes, and this is just us, me and my two brothers. So we've been working together for the last 5 years. So I mean, it's been a joy to just work together with family. Okay, so this is a project that we've done, and I'll get my brother to speak to you more about it.
Hi, I'm Lincoln. So this is a project we did for Diageo for their rum bottles, Zacapa. So what we had to do was that this bottle was supposed to be air flown from a helicopter to a private island for a really expensive, as in for a really like atas like client. So we only had to make 2 boxes of these, but the budget was basically like there's no budget essentially. So it was a very fun project for us because what we did was we could do almost anything we wanted to do with the box. So what we did was we had to individually 3D scan each. So just go back and show it to you. Is there a pointer? Okay, never mind. So anyway, you can see the bottle and you see the glasses and the ice bucket over there. We had to 3D scan all of those pieces of glass so that everything where we put them in will be snug fit. Because what happens is that when we were making the box, what we had, the top layer was leather, and then the bottom layer was wood. So we had to cut out the piece of wood and then give tolerances for the leather piece. And then what we also had to do was that, this is the leather pieces you can see, sorry. And then what we had to do was the hardware as well. What we had, we flew in special hardware from America to make the box look cool. Yeah, essentially it's solid brass hardware, cast in solid, especially cast for the project. And then we had to laser engrave their names over there. Yeah, special brass hardware. Okay. And then this is the Mandai project that we're doing.
I'm Ryan. Yeah, so essentially this is part Mandai, this project is called Mandai. So it's part of a small initiative called Local Tree Project they're trying to push for. So what we do, what this is essentially is that you all know that Mandai is expanding, right? So that means like Jurong Bird Park is also moving to Mandai, correct? So when Jurong Bird Park moved over to Mandai, they had to clear the land. So when they cleared the land, they had to cut down trees. So what they did is that we took these trees, we went to treat them, we went to process them, dry them, to make them ready for furniture. Yeah, so these are just a couple of pictures that we have done of local trees. This wood is actually a green tree wood. So it's a local wood that can be found in abundance in Singapore. Other kind of solid wood that can be found in Singapore is like angsana tree, ring tree, like I said. We have kaya and many other kinds of wood. So mainly in Mandai, they had abundance in rain trees. So we came out with a series of furniture for them. There's now previously was a bench, and then this was a table. Then sometimes that we receive these trees, some of them are not 100% healthy. They have a little bit of like rotting here and there. So what we do is you can see this black line down there on the right side. So what we did was you see one of those like Instagram posters where they put like the epoxy and then like the cuckoo, like wow, then you see the thing slowly harden. It's the same thing, that's what we did. So it's just wooden filling. So why we do that is because that one, it just seals up the pore, so then we will stop the rotting. So what we do, if you take a chisel, we just remove all the rot and we just cover it. Yeah. So this is one of the sawmills that we went to. This is at near Sungai Pedok area. These trees are stacked up to about like 3 meters high, and they are all just destined for the landfill. This is the reason why we took the furniture from Mandai, because it's not really like, I mean, it's a bit heartbreaking and it's very surreal because like one sawmill you see, right, it's like a 3-4 football field size and it's really huge, stacked up to about 3 meters. If I am there, right, I would be like there. So you can just visualize, it's really very high, there's tons of trees and it's just very like heartbreaking to be there. Because all this just turned to two things, mulch or pellets, which is quite wasteful. So yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you for that sharing. I think one of the things that really, that I never knew that trees could be destined for the landfill. I always thought they were repurposed into something new. So I think this is something that I never knew before this presentation. And I like how they're using local trees to make furniture. So next up we have Emily of Panelogue, and so her family business is actually in timber. So let's give a warm round of applause to her.
Hi guys, I'm Emily from Panelogue and Superstructure. So this is me. I come from timber. My family has been in the timber industry for the last 30 years. So I never really thought of joining the family business, but when I do, I think of this. And I thought of my life being part of timber because my whole life, my parents have shared with me about wood. So my love affair with timber started really young, and this was what I thought my life would be. And what my dad would always tell me is, "Daughter, I've given you an education." Sorry. So it was meant to be a joke, but I need to laugh first, but anyway, so he said, he would say, "Doctor, I've given you an education. You can go wherever you want to go, but I don't mind if you join me." Yeah, but I don't mind if you join me. He will say this every time he sees me. I don't mind if you come back and help me. So this is the reality. I came back one day. The reality never hit me until I reached back to this factory. And I see the amount of I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, and I did an internship in Sumitomo Forestry, so it taught me about sustainability. Yeah. So when I came back, I looked at the timber industry and I realized that sustainability was never really part of the plan. Sustainability was always an afterthought. And it was really not part of my values, and it became a place where I didn't want to be. So the following slides will show you how I tried to transform the business for the current business to share the same values that I would now preach. So the reality was every sawmill I visited was just fields and fields of logs. Behind there you can see just gas being released into the environment. Here you see this is about 4 football fields worth of chips being logged in a single afternoon. So this was the reality for me. Every day, every month, this would be what I see. So I thought to myself, how could I change this business? How could I make it more sustainable? And being a part of this family business where my parents would share, we are probably one of the only few left in Singapore. How could we then make sure that carpenters, designers and all that are aware of what we do? So that was then, and this is now, it's been 4 years. I created Panelogue. So Panelogue was meant to start a dialogue for wood panel furniture. So a lot of people love to use solid wood, it's beautiful, it's exotic, but what about panels? What about plywood, chipboard, MDF? It's not very nice. People, when they buy from IKEA, they think that it just falls apart easily, but when you think about what is sustainability, when you process solid wood, maybe about 40 to 60% of solid wood gets turned into furniture, the rest goes to waste. Whereas if you process furniture into chips, you actually use up to 99% of the log. So even like timber that's been used, they try to process all the chips into furniture. So this was meant to start as a dialogue, a point of departure to reintroduce engineered wood into the industry. So there are different materials out there, but I just want to share about sustainable forestry. And one of the most sustainable materials I've seen so far is cork. I think a lot of you seen them being used as your wine bottle capping, but you also see them being used, let's say, at corkboards in your office. But where do they come from? So cork is actually one of the most sustainable materials you can harvest from a tree. Right, so this is the cork oak tree, and you see that the cork is actually the bark of the tree. So when you harvest cork, you don't actually cut down the entire tree. So the birds are still able to lay their eggs. The fox is still able to burrow and dig their nests. So, and these are all cork farmers. Apparently one of the highest paid farmers in the world. So they harvest this cork every 9 years, and they take it to sun it. So cork, as you can see, is the bark, right? So it's meant to protect the tree from weather, from all kinds of external influences. So they're actually very hardy. So this is one of the new materials that a lot of people are exploring in terms of timber-related experiments. Another issue is chemicals that use to bind wood. So usually chemicals that use to bind wood contains a lot of formaldehyde. So with cork or with other woods, we are now learning how to extract these resins to be able, so that you can compress cork or other wood products and you don't need to use formaldehyde anymore. Formaldehyde is apparently bad for your health. And, but it's still the cheapest resin binder available for most industries, so you can find them in your shampoos and all that. So one other thing I wanted to share about cork is that how many of you have watched Winnie the Pooh and Ice Age? and you've seen that little acorn. Yeah, so that's actually a cork oak acorn. It's a symbol of how long a cork tree can last and how much animals can live inside a cork tree. So the next, the next department or the next adventure I tried to embark on within the company is called superstructure. So superstructure. So when I first joined the industry, I thought to myself, there are so many older people. What can I do to make things different? What can I do to make Sungai Gadot sexy? Yeah, so at the time I also met an architect and a friend who's now my business partner, and we started this company called Superstructure, which focused on digital fabrication, and we tried to introduce to designers that it's not only about designing the space and designing the product, you have to design the process in which it's made, the joinery patterns. So then it allowed us to explore various ways to process wood materials differently, and a young generation to come up, or young designers to come up to do all the heavy lifting with their computers, and then put it into the machine, and then you find like yourself with something interesting. Yeah, so our job centers around transforming free-form design and bringing them to reality. So you can see like this is all the joinery that goes behind all your faceted wall panels. All the wood is cut to shape. All the joints are uniquely printed out. So it's not about replacing the carpenter's job. It's about making them easier, making this kind of uncommon creativity more accessible to everybody. So this is the PwC in Marina One Innovation Center. This is for Facebook, and this is a particularly interesting project because they wanted to recreate something in London, the exact same one in Singapore, and we had 3 weeks. So all we had was a photo. And then what we did was that we measured the space, and then after that we cut out everything and brought it all together. And this is also a particularly interesting one. It's a collaboration with Nathan from Grafunk. What happened here was this was a VIP area for Laneway Festival last year. And I thought it was interesting because when it came to me to use MDF outdoors, it was always a theory. It was always a theory that good engineered panels could be used outdoors, but nobody ever dared to test it. So Nathan told me, no worries, let's try it because in Asia we're really conservative. Let's see how we can do to bring this to the next level. Yep, so we created this furniture seating that was not only made of recycled wood chips, it was also manufactured purely using the machine. So everything was designed, the joints were designed to fit nicely together, and everything was cut out without any human intervention other than joining it together at the very beginning. So again, we try to make design very, very pragmatic, very accessible, manufacturing very easy to assemble. So last one is the pavilion that we did for Singapore. The Singapore pavilion again was one of the bigger projects that we've gotten since we've started the superstructure. The pavilion, what's interesting about this pavilion is that it uses only, I would say 23 pieces of plywood, so very, very small materials being used. And it took us 2.5 days to assemble. The people assembling were all students. So this is what we aim to do. We try to do all the heavy lifting within the office and then make things so easy, so accessible to build that anybody can build, everybody can create an experience that people can remember. So lastly is the picture of the team. It's just quite old photo, it's since expanded. So this is everybody that believed in us. In Sungai Gadot, it's very hard to convince people to come and work for me. Yeah, so this is you're looking at possibly the youngest people, or youngest team in Sungai Gadot. Yeah, and also if starting or looking after a family business is a daunting task, I wanted to share that if you are in this talk and you are planning to take over your family business, you are more than welcome to talk to us at the Singapore Furniture Industries Council. I think that I've benefited a lot from my peers, and I'm sure that Morgan and Jeanette has done so as well. Yep, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Emily. And for me, I really admire how she manages to carve out her own path of adventure, even within such an age-old industry. I think that's something to be very much respected as well. So next up, we have Jeanette and Jane from RJ Paper.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jane. I'm one of the directors of RJ Paper. I started the company 32 years ago with a mindset to sell only recycled and environmentally friendly paper. And 32 years down the road now, we are still keeping to the recycled and environmental sustainable product. However, I want to share with you, 32 years ago when we first started, the design industry was just beginning, and then we had brought in very special paper. And in order to reach out to designers and specifiers, the only thing that we could do was compiling samples and make it into swatches. And you notice this is the first generation swatches that we have done. Some of them are manually handmade, and some are very unprofessionally compiled. So what happened was, as we go along, our range of paper increased, and so did the client base also. They increased very fast. The one way that we can reach out to the designers was give them a very professional range of sample swatch, so that it is easy for them to select what they think is good for their clients, in return help us sell. So what happened was, we approached Stanley Tan, who is the shareholder and also a design director of Immortal Design, to come with a concept to help us improve our sample swatch, because this sample swatch is like a tool for our marketing and promotional effort. So what happened was, Immortal gathered all the paper that we have. They tore it down, broken it down into different categories. If you can see from here, the sample swatches at that time was done in a way where he broke them down into 14 books, each book with a characteristic of its own: coated, uncoated, texture, non-texture, colored, decorative paper, and such. When this was done, the first box was done, it was contained in a metal box. When this box went out to the market, it was so well accepted. Everybody loved it, and I think we can reach these stages because good design helps us in many ways. So as we go along, more people were introduced. You can see these are brown color cover. This is because during that time, recycled and environmentally friendly paper were very much sought after. And we want to project that we are an environmentally friendly supplier. The cover gives you the image at one look that it is an environmentally friendly company with doing business with the environment behind our motto. And then 8 years later, more samples were, more paper were brought in, and old paper were removed. We have to update again. This time, again Immortal did for us another range. You can still see the old recyclers image there, but the tin box has been replaced by the black bag. Of course, it was also very well received and very well accepted by specifiers and designers. Firstly, it has got a handle where it is easy to carry about. I should actually mention why we decide to go for a catalog, because it helps to build our brand. First, the image of RJ Paper with the tin box is so closely associated with specifier. It gives them a rich of paper to select. It cut down their time choosing the right paper, and it is also easy for them when they present it to the client. So all these with designers' interest in mind, this was created. So after the black bag was done, again about 8 years later, new samples, new paper, old paper, we have to update often. So the next year, which was in 2010, we did this latest sample box, which I should show you our proud sample box. This time we invited my flyer Michael, who founded OIC, to introduce some good illustrators, because illustration then was an up and coming interest for young designers. So what we did was we invited illustrators, the popular one and the budding ones from the schools, individuals, and the popular ones. So from there, our range of 15 samples were created again. But this, of course, you notice, also added in information of the paper, whether they belong to the FSC group or they are recycled, and what kind of environmental quality each paper carries. This is what we have done through, and I should pass this phone to Jeanette, who is my daughter, not phone, the microphone, to Jeanette, who I think I should say that I'm very lucky. I have a second generation who is very willing to come and carry on the business with a new economy in mind. So I pass this to Jeanette.
Thank you. So you see, in 2010, right, we did this. Nothing beats this, right? It's very innovative, very fast forward. Everybody loves this. Who doesn't love this, right? Then something happened when she passed this to me. She said, okay, we've done this. Now for you to run the business. Then something happened 2 years after we did this. We launched this. Anybody knows what happened in 2012? Let me remind you what happened in 2012 to our lives. In 2012, we were introduced to 4G network. Now, what does 4G network what does it mean? It means at the palm of your hand, right? This becomes your map, it becomes your dictionary, it becomes your encyclopedia, it becomes your Google. So then what is this, right? Is this enough? 2012, this is what happened. It's no secret, everybody knows there was a decline in commercial print. But at the same time, right, in 2013, 2014, we found little spots of revived print technology that was personalized, that was smaller in print run, that was different. Letterpress, more illustrators came out. Digital printing, although it's not artistry, artistic requests started coming in. New customer segment. Because of this, because of 4G, all our customers and users wanted to be part of the design process. They wanted to choose with designers. They wanted to show designers what they can see on Google Image. Right? Everybody became empowered to choose materials, to tell you what they think should be who they are. And then there was this huge intake in the design schools. There was this boom in, I think, 2008, 2010. Suddenly we get all these emails from students asking us, can we buy 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 10 sheets? And because of 1 and 2, we found that we were just constantly trying to help the market to satisfy our customers, new customers, with digital, artistic packaging materials that wasn't really part of this, right? Because we were very much in the commercial print market. And then we had Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I was lost. I was totally lost. I'm like, what are we going to do? Every day I'm like fighting fire. I'm trying to find materials. Does this material work with letterpress? I don't know. I gave you 2 sheets, you test, and then you let me know. You know, we were doing things like that. It was so experimental. And after a while, it got very tiring, right? And then we couldn't, and then I told Jane, I said in 2015, 2016, I said, we cannot continue like this. Because if we keep continuing like this, we are following the tide, right? Where the tide brings us, we are followers. But we are never followers, we are always market movers. And so I reached out to Yong from somewhere else whom we know for a very long time, and we came up with this. We did a rebranding exercise to make sure we know who we were, and fortunately, we know who we were. We are still the trusted partner for thousands of designers, creators, artists and makers since 1987. That didn't change, right? And then how do we incorporate this value into the big picture, into what's happening today? We had to make sure there was consistency in our story because we had huge followers. And then we remodeled our physical and digital presence in print, on paper, online, and we created a 5th edition that's coming out. So this is us, and this is also us. This was us, our webpage. This is coming out next month, akan datang, yeah. Informative, intuitive, efficient. This is a work of 21 young and budding unknown illustrators, and will be reso printed, not offset printed. We shrink down our range to show the market that these are what you need really essentially. And we kept the full catalog for professionals. We are now online, and this is our Insta and narrative, right? So this is really us, right? Not commercial. And I think we have design to thank for to help us to set a platform to bring the business out to the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeanette and Jane. So please be patient with us as we set up the chairs for the panel session. So they were very kind to share their processes and their journey so far. Next time in the panel session, we'll be hearing a bit more about what is the heart behind what they're doing as well. Okay, so I think the first question I'll address it to Emily actually. So at the turning point when you decided to join your family business, what went on in your head and in your heart as well? And how do you choose to reprioritize what mattered in your life?
When I try to think of that point, I could never really isolate that single point. When I first started the business, it was more of like a test of water, putting my toes in the water and seeing like what's going to happen. But through the process of learning, being a part of something that was bigger than me, the story of sustainability, my clients, reinvigorating my clients' business through the knowledge of timber really helped me cement my place within the company. And I felt like that so much more could be done given the position that I'm in, that I think within a few months I was completely sucked into this mission of continuing on the family legacy.
Thank you for sharing. And actually for now, next question is addressed to Jeanette actually. At the end of the day, in every business there is a sales aspect of the business, and this is a very people-centric process. Can you share the difference between how growing up you see your mom do sales visits versus how you approach it today?
I used to follow my mom for sales visit. She would park downstairs. She said, hey, you take this A4 sample, you run out and look for this uncle. So after school, by the way, in my school uniform. I think today customers are different from before. There's really information overload. They don't need you to tell them what exactly they need. They have something in mind, you just have to work with them.
So it's quite a different approach. Yeah, because needs are different.
How about the way you communicate with them? I think last time people were more, we've done business for a while, we're more friend, right? Then
Yeah,
now
they're more open. Yeah, they because they some customers used to, I feel, please correct me if I'm wrong, used to rely a bit more on us for information, for ideas. Yeah, today we are there to help make their ideas come true, to come into production. I think that's the main difference.
Thank you for sharing. Next question is addressed to the boys, whoever you think would be good to share. Maybe more for Morgan actually. How long did it take you to earn the respect of different stakeholders of the business, when you took over? Whether it's the old uncles that you've been working with, or even now having to lead with your brothers alongside you. Can you share a bit more on that process?
Okay. For myself, when we joined the family business about 5 years ago, there were quite a number of the older, more senior guys in the company. And for me, for a start, to just go there and take over a business that was not doing very well, was just in the minds of these guys who have been following my dad, because when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, they thought that the business would be closed down. They didn't expect me and my brothers to just come in and try to do something for it. These guys have been watching me grow up since I was young, and so I'm pretty sure they'll be like, who is this young punk trying to like rebrand the company, and who am I? I didn't have experience. I didn't have anything. We really started from ground zero, and for me and my brothers, what we did at the start, because we were trying to do rebranding, we were trying to learn about the industry. What we did was we just stuck it out, and we just went to the ground, spent all the time going to the ground. So when my guys were doing installation, I'll be there trying to sweep up for them. If they need screws, I'll go and take screws for them. I was like the errand boy. Was errand boy for about last 5 years. I'm still the errand boy. So it's just, for me, it's just respecting them, because they are my seniors as well. I respect them because they're technically like my uncles, because the way my dad has been running the company, everyone's family. And for me to run the company together with my brothers, it's all about treating everyone like family. So there has to be a lot of give, a lot of take. Sometimes I have to give more, sometimes I take a little bit more. I think it's just fair for everyone, because we're all in this together. So just trying to build that up took a little bit of time, took about 3-4 years for finally for the guys to slowly accept that, hey, we're trying to make a difference. We're listening to what you want to do. We take into consideration your experience, we take into consideration the kind of knowledge you have. But here we are trying to digest whatever you have, trying to do what we want to do, what we think is right moving forward, and just trying to just move together as a company.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Still being errand boy after 5 years, I think that's the reality of things, right? So open the floor to questions. Anyone has any questions to ask? Yes.
It's for Jeanette and Jane. Sorry, guys. It's for Jeanette and Jane. For Auntie Jane, was it a lot of convincing for to get Jeanette to join the company, and also for Jeanette? Do you have other dreams other than taking over your family business? Because my parents would definitely want me to take over the family business, but then I chose art. So then all their dreams are shattered in a sense. What made you choose to take over the business?
If your mom should have put you in the business when you were young, then you grow to love the business. That's what I did to Jeanette.
She plans ahead. Yeah, it's true. The business is not just business. I think hearing from Morgan and Emily also, Lincoln and Ryan, I think we chose this path because the family is not just family; it's an extended family. The people who are working, the uncles, the aunties, are also part of us, part of who we are. Our teachers, our sifu. So they are family. I think we all feel responsible to make sure they have a job, and also that they stay together, because I'm sure everybody, the uncles and aunties, I'm like ours, they enjoy each other a lot. Yeah, and yes, if I had a choice, I think because animals are naturally attracted to me, I think I may have become a vet.
Alright, thank you for sharing. Any other questions? Yeah, you.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a bit tall. Okay. I think the question primarily for Jeanette, but I think Emily and the team from Roger&Sons can also share. Jeanette, I think what's interesting, first, I love the strategy slides. I work in strategy analytics, so I love that mapping out in there. But I wanted a sense, because I think what's unconventional, or the story that you shared was different from theirs, was that you were running the business and externalities force you to find a way to change, right? As opposed to being introduced into business and the presence was the catalyst. Now, how did you navigate not just what you had to do, but the new skill sets that you had to maybe develop within the organization? Like, for example, the digital marketing side of things and all that kind of stuff. Like, how did you evolve the human resource side of the equation with that?
Work very hard. Work very hard. I always ask people I meet, how do you do Instagram? So I forced myself to open an Instagram account, and then I start posting, I see what's the reply. A lot of testing. And we are very fortunate to find a young lady who is in her 20s, right? And she's basically, we let her run the show. So that slide you saw, right, was done by her. We helped along, we gave her the big idea, she did it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I need another question over here as well. Oh yeah.
Thanks for Roger&Sons. I was curious to know, like, in terms of your father's vision, right, when he first started it off, and then later on when you had to take over, like, how much of that vision do you try to hold on to, and how much do you try to create your own vision? I think it also applies to Emily as well as Jeanette.
For us, right, so my dad, when we started, when we took over 5 years ago, the first thing me and my brothers did when we took over the company was called Jeanette Industries. So we went in, we started looking at the marketing collaterals, what he has been doing, right? So the things he has been doing, the processes, everything were from the 90s. You know, all his collateral is like, the things he even has to show to clients were all from the 90s. And we had...
Just want to add, they don't even have the company name on the collateral. Yeah, so like that's a lot of work we had to do.
Yeah, but it's not. It's because my dad didn't move with times, right? He was a very traditional businessman. He was just for him, it's just more hard work than more strategic planning, right? So for him, all he wanted to do was just put food on the table, you know, just shelter for the family. His vision of the company was just to provide enough money to just put food on the table for us. So that's primarily what he has been doing. So it didn't matter to him whether he was doing office furniture at the period time, or maybe carpentry, or just doing the odd small contracting job. You know, as long as he provide food on the table, that's what he would do. You know, but for us, when we took over, we started to really find out and talk to the guys and see what they're good at. Because for us, we couldn't continue as JRP Industries. We had to rebrand, and we knew that we want to call it to Roger&Sons. But at that point in time, we only know the company name. We didn't know whether we want to do bespoke carpentry. We don't know whether we want to be contractors or be handyman or be anything. Because technically, we have the skills to do, you know, all these kind of things. But we sat down, the three of us, and we really decided that, you know, carpentry is the way for us to go. It's the interest of the three of us. You know, and ever since we were young, our dad would just teach us a little bit of carpentry things here and there. So this was very influential for us to make the decision to move into carpentry. For us, the legacy of my dad, when I feel it's not carpentry. The legacy of my dad is the company itself. It's the way we run the company, everyone's family. It's the way we behave when we talk to clients, or the way we behave when we talk to suppliers or people that we like our customers and stuff, because my dad ran the company in such a way that he cares a lot for his friends, he cares a lot for his suppliers, he cares a lot for his guys. Whenever there's a problem, they call him, he'll be there. And it's the way that we've been running the company ever since. Whenever my suppliers tells me that I cannot deliver it, I will go and just do it myself. Or sometimes when his guys will come and deliver plywood, I will carry, my brothers will help carry. So it's the way that we run the business, and I think that part is the legacy that we try to continue for my dad.
For Emily?
So for us, it was timber trading, right? And it was pretty difficult so when I took over the business, we had, of course, we had a logo, and the logo was just a sans serif font that you pick up from words. And then after that, my parents decided that, you know what, contractors can't read, so let's put on a goldfish logo on it so that everybody can know that we are a goldfish brand. So they're very proud of it. My mom is sitting right there. So, yeah, so it worked for a long period of time. People got to know us, and we became one of the biggest plywood traders. But when I took over, internet had just begun. Like everything, people started going to Alibaba, people started going to online, Taobao to source for things. So where would we be in the next 20 years when people are able to just buy off the internet? Would we still be a big stockist, or are we just simply big fishes swimming in a smaller pond? That was the issues that I started percolating and working with, and decided that we have to do something. We have to do something different. We have to value add. We can't simply just go the way it is, because as it is, Singapore carpentry is already being pushed out of Singapore through the years. I mean, the big guys are all moving to Malaysia. So that with all our customers leaving us, what's next, right? So I started Panelogue to champion sustainability, because mainly because the clients left, will be working on very, very small niche projects. What my dad supported me was innovation, was business. He taught me how to look at things in a different light, how to invest in the right kind of skills and technology to bring the furniture market to a new level. He always had a vision, and I thought that it was a shame not to bring it to reality. He stopped at the trading part of the business, and I saw it as a goal to bring it on to the next level. And the next thing I learned from my family was how they looked after all their employees. So I tried to bring this also to all the new staff that I've hired. Not as simply somebody working in the company, but somebody that is devoted their life and talents to helping the company become a better place. So we try to put more inclusive policies to help them grow also as a person. And I always tell my staff that your personal goals need to align with your company goals for us to move ahead and for everybody to become a better person than they were before.
Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one last question. Once you find this phone, but yeah. Yes. Question?
This is for Roger&Sons, and Emily as well as Jane and Jeanette. How do you resolve your differences in the family as a family when it comes to partnership?
Okay, so surprisingly enough, when we were growing up, three of us, we did completely three different things. My older brother did business, I went to film, and Ryan did logistics. So it just planned out very well. He's just the big boss. I'm just the guy who does all the design things, and Ryan's the delivery guy and carpenter. So, sorry. Yeah, we don't really fight. I mean, we do make decisions, and we do pick oh no, we shouldn't be doing like that, or we shouldn't be doing like this. But most of the time, it's quite chill. I think all three of us, we have a very similar vision of what we really want the company to be, and just talking about it every time, we're always yeah, let's just do it. Half the time there's no bad ideas with us. Yeah, if it's a bad idea, we'll be oh no, it's still a good idea, but we need to work on it more to make it a better idea, stuff like that. But other than that, we don't really fight a lot. But maybe because we hang out a lot with each other all the time. Yeah. Yeah, because for us, we all have specific roles, and for us, whenever any of us makes a decision, because there's 3 of us, right? So as long as 2 says yes, then the other one has no choice. So, but more importantly is that whenever anyone makes a decision, like Ryan makes a decision, or Lincoln makes a decision, it's whenever someone says something, the 2 of us just follow. We follow blindly all the time. We're like, okay, let's just go. Right? Lincoln say go. Okay, let's all go. You know? We don't know what's happening because we're still young and we're still finding our way. And we're still learning. And whatever decision that we make, it's not the right way. It might not be the right way, but I mean, the good thing for us is that we're doing it together. We're on this journey together. I think that's the most important thing for us. You know, whether or not we might fail tomorrow or might fail next year, but it doesn't matter to us because the most important thing is that we believe in each other and we're going to stick it out together. And I think that's the ultimate goal, and we believe in each other. Yeah.
So I'm the only second gen at this moment in the company. So I can only bounce ideas with myself, and of course, like my industry peers, which I'm very thankful to have. So if I had one advice or of a parent, of suddenly seeing your parents every day for more than 16 hours a day after university, would be that do not mistake concerns for criticisms. So one day your parent will walk in and say, "Why is your table so messy?" Actually, they are just wanting to help you pack your table. So I'm just like, then every time they tell me, "Oh, why do you not do this or that?" I take it as an opportunity to improve, that they are caring for me, and then life is good.
She's gonna tell you when she was very nice. Yeah, it's true, yeah. She comes all the time and says, "Oh, you got to clear this up." Yeah. I think because we are family and we are very lucky to have colleagues who has been working with us for many years. If we have any differences, we always bounce it off them also. Yeah, we discuss with them also, and then we see how what they think, and then we realign ourselves to make the decision.
Okay, great. So I think we've come to the end of our session. I just want to thank all the speakers and everyone present here. Can we just give them a round of applause? So they'll be hanging around and here for a few minutes after this. So if you have any questions to ask them personally, please do come out and look for them. Thank you.